And we're live. Guys, welcome to another episode 86 of the SoFLo Sports Show. It's your host, 305 Sports Babe, co-host Lou from Dade. We are
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy. I think you said howdy because tonight is the Country Music Awards, the CMAs tonight.
Is it really tonight?
It really is tonight.
Nice.
So I thought you were kind
I'm
of...
a fan.
I know you are. So I thought you were kind of going howdy leaning into that.
Yeah. Actually, we got an update for the Dolphin season ticket holders. It was announced previously to it getting out there to the world that Post Malone and Jelly Roll are going to be co-headlining a concert at the Rock.
I didn't know that.
I was surprised that I didn't think Post Malone had that kind of power, but hey, Post Malone and Jelly Roll, now you got something.
You had me at Jelly Roll.
I'm a big Jelly Roll fan, so I might want to get tickets to that. We'll see.
For sure. That sounds amazing. So yeah, tonight is the Country Music Awards.
Awesome.
And so really not heavy with sports. Heat don't play again until Friday. Obviously,
Sunday. They don't play till Sunday.
I thought they had the Friday.
No, they don't play till Sunday.
No,
yeah, they're off.
Really?
No. Yeah, I'm telling you, they're all off all the way till Sunday.
Okay. Well, that's even worse because it's even longer.
Yep, they'll be hosting the Mavericks. So they played a couple back-to-back games in Indianapolis.
Against the Celtics.
Yep, they were out in Denver. So they did a little bit of a crazy road trip because of the NBA Cup, which I'm not a huge fan of at all. But the schedule was a little bit quirky there, and that's why they got this unexpected rest. And they'll be hosting the defending Western Conference champion Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic on Sunday night from the AAA.
I said Celtics. I didn't mean Celtics. I meant the 76ers because, when we play the 76ers, it's usually bad blood, right? Obviously, It's a team. And that's not the same 76ers team that we're used to seeing. So
they're off to a really bad start.
So that was exciting.
We'll get into that, but the Sixers are an absolute mess right now.
Yeah.
And look, there's been links that Embiid might be on his way out. We'll get into it later, but hey, if he lands here, I'm not going to complain. We'll see.
There's a few players we'd like to land here. Before we get into actual sports, something bigger than sports, I just want to talk about. As you guys may or may not know, our buddy Ian Berger, Big E, is going through a pretty icky health scare right now. So we started a campaign called Project Get Well Soon, Big E. So we are challenging everybody to create a 30-second video wishing Big E get well wishes. You guys can tag him on Facebook or Twitter, X, and we will make sure that it gets to him. But please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. A little rough time for him, and we definitely want to do as much as possible to show him love and support.
Absolutely. Also want to mention Alex Butsky's dad. He's going through a little bit of scare as well, and Alex is a big part of our family. Tailgates with us on Sunday, so also want to mention that as well. Prayers go out to him and definitely Big E.
Definitely, yeah. So coming off Sunday, our last time we spoke to you guys, and also let's say hi to everybody in the room. We have Desi from we have the North, we have the West. So Desi, hello. Fort Kirk is Sixers, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. They're horrible. And I do want to mention Desi. As mentioned last week, during the end of the last week's show, my grandmother passed away, and Desi was very kind enough. Him and his wife Darnell send us a card, and so very thankful for that, Desi. Wanted to thank you for that.
Yes, Sandy, always joining us in the show, no matter what time it is. Good evening,
San Diego.
Oh, yes, prayers for Ian. Yes, so definitely keep in our prayers. So last time we spoke to you guys, it was a Friday night. You were hanging out with you on Friday night, and we were getting ready to watch the big fight. So let's rewind just a little bit. That night was the Netflix big fight, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, and the fight actually ended up, you thought it'd be like 10-15. And I was like, there's no way. It was a solid fight card, and I knew it was going to be a little longer than that. Fight ended up happening a lot later. There were so many issues going on with Netflix. Like, Netflix is supposed to be the #1 streaming network in the world.
And it crashed,
it
right?
Was just terrible. And it seemed like the only time it didn't crash is when they had that picture of Mike Tyson's butt. Literally his butt. Because everybody and their mother saw that. And so...
He's wearing assless chaps. I haven't seen anybody wear those since Prince back in the day.
Definitely.
But that was quite a scene there.
So hello, Brent. Hello, good evening to you as well. So you were starting to fall asleep, and I was kind of in and out. I was out here because our Netflix is in our living room, and then finally, it came on, and I was like, "Lou, come out here." And at first, the first few rounds, actually, the first round looked good, right? Obviously, we were going for Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
that was like our, it was the whole beautiful
I
story.
think a lot of people were.
Fair to say. So, we were hoping, and then, as we watched round after round after round, the broadcasters kept mentioning his legs.
Yeah.
And you could tell it actually reminds me of, a dog who is older, and just the legs, his legs weren't in motion, and you saw his heart, but it wasn't matching up to his body. So unfortunately, as we know, the fight ended up being, thank goodness it wasn't a knockout, because if Jake Paul ended up knocking out Mike Tyson, that would have been terrible. But the second worst outcome happened with Mike Tyson losing. And, he went down gloriously.
He's 58 years old.
Exactly.
He did a tremendous job. He didn't get knocked out. A lot of people thought maybe Jake Paul was being nice and didn't knock him out, but that's bull. I think he wanted to maybe put him on the floor to add some, cred to his name, his street cred out there. So, but now look, Tyson obviously very limited. He was also biting his glove, which he's done.
Which he says he does.
Yeah.
So it wasn't out of anything.
Very strange.
It's just,
obviously, we know he likes to bite. He bit it on her ear off. So he's got a documented history of that. But no, it was a boring fight. It was not anything, to rag home about. And so, yeah, it was kind of a wasted night, if you will, or whatever. It wasn't what we expected. But what are you going to do?
So it wasn't our outcome. Can't win every outcome that we wanted the last few weeks. At least we got some outcomes that we wanted.
We did.
Talking about the Dolphins, that is.
Yes.
On Sunday. I tricked you guys there. Not really. But yes, Sunday. Let's lead into Sunday. So Canes had a bye week.
That's right.
So we were coming off that loss last week against Georgia Tech. So it was kind of just,
They did drop to number 9 in the ranking, so that's not good. They're number 8 now after this past weekend. But so they got to get back on track after their last loss.
Yeah. So Sunday we wake up, head to the Hard Rock. We already knew, as we mentioned in the show, that the Raiders fans travel extremely well. So where we park in the yellow lot, we knew that they had their setup. So we took a little stroll through Raider Lane, and to no surprise, they were there in numbers doing their thing. They don't bother anybody. We head into the game, and
they weren't as intimidating as in years past this year. Maybe they're off to a bad start here, and not a lot of hope for them.
Yeah.
We mentioned Christian Wilkins also. He did not play.
Unfortunately, because I wanted to see him.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he even traveled, from what people said. He didn't travel with the team. So that's kind of disappointing, because he obviously has a history down here. He's done so much for our community.
Yes.
He came down for DCC after he signed with the Raiders. So, it's one of those where you thought that he would have made a showing, but he didn't. But again, not as intimidating, but you do have the black hole, the Raiders chance. And the jerseys are cool, man. The silver and black. You got the Bo Jacksons. I saw some Lyle Alzado jerseys. So they got a lot of history, a lot of John Madden gear being displayed. So the Raiders are one of the top NFL franchises ever. So
yeah, good reputation, following fans, obviously dedicated, considering their moves, and fans very, very loyal. So we obviously end up going, and first quarter happens, and guess what happens? We score in our first drive. This is the second week in a row.
Incredible.
I know, and it sounds so silly because it's something that people, and really good teams kind of take for granted, especially, your Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes scores first drive. You don't really think anything of it. You kind of think that's automatically happens. But given the season that we're having, it's something that we actually are really, really excited for.
Yeah.
So the first drive happens, we score, and then we had possession of the game the whole entire time.
Incredible. They really put together some long drives, which you want to see. They controlled the time possession. They dominated that. And they just got to, Sanders put in his 2 field goals. He was perfect, 2 for 2 field goals, all his 4 extra points. But you got to finish some of these drives with touchdowns. And it was a close game until the fourth quarter. They scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. So they pulled away later. The Raiders made it a little interesting there at the end, but the Dolphins had the game in hand. A lot of people predicted closer games because the Dolphins would get to blow away opponents. And, even though it was a closer game than what the score would indicate, they still won by 15 points, 34-19. I predicted 41-20, so I was kind of close. And, finally we were able to convincingly win a game and not have it fall until the last possession. So that was good to see.
Yeah, no, a lot of good things happened out of the game. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey got his interception.
Yeah.
Odell was a little more Odell
got a big first down, and it was vibrant, and he had 2 catches overall, so that was good to watch. Jonnu Smith was awesome, 2 touchdowns. Of course, that big breakaway touchdown late in the game that pretty much put it away. Tyreek scored a touchdown. Devon Achane had 100 total yards, 70 on the ground and 30 through the air. So that was awesome to see. And look, defense, right? The defense held them to 19 points. You mentioned Ramsey, also 3 sacks. Calais Campbell had a sack. Zach Zeeler had a sack, finally coming back. And Ogba had a sack. And going back to Calais Campbell is the best player on our defense. Him and Ramsey, maybe 1A, 1B. But, man, Calais Campbell at 38 years old, that guy's motor is still going. Talk about a guy, Tyson, who obviously 20-year difference there. But, guy on his last legs, this and the other. Calais Campbell looks like forget 38 years old. He looks like a 28-year-old out there. He looks like a beast.
I will tell you who I'm glad wasn't on beast mode on defense was Max Crosby. Obviously, because we would hate to see that be reversed and have Tua literally waddle out, because we obviously know the caliber of a player Max Crosby is. And good thing we didn't see that version of him.
Great point. Max Crosby is an all-world player, and maybe the fact that Wilkins wasn't there to free him up, but the offensive line, people that rank on the Dolphins' offensive line, hey, they controlled him. Max Crosby didn't get anywhere near to us. So big credit to them.
Thank goodness, because obviously we know our offensive line has always been a talk of the town. And so they were able to hold Max Crosby away from Tua, which obviously led to a big breather for us to not have him where we don't need him.
Absolutely. And another thing that we could get maybe used to seeing is our punter, number 16, Jake Bailey, didn't punt. So the fact that, whenever your punter doesn't get out an attempt, that means you're doing something right. And as you mentioned, the time of possession, extending these drives, finishing the drives without our touchdowns or a field goal, and no turnovers, and being able to control the game like that and not have your punter come out, that's huge.
You also know it's a good game when I'm able to sit in my seat the whole game. What I mean by that is when we're not doing good, I don't have I can't sit in the seat. I have to pace. I have to walk. I have to flip. And I sat still in my seat the whole entire time, minus getting a jacket, because the weather wasn't actually sunny for once. But I was able to just sit and enjoy football without pacing. So all in all, Sunday was great.
Yeah, no doubt. The one down spot was
all right, Debbie Downer,
not being able to stop Brock Bowers, who we talked about in the previous show.
Yeah.
He's their top target, especially with Devontae Adams being traded away to the Jets. We'll get into the Jets in a little minute there.
If
but
we must.
The fact that Bowers had 13 receptions for 126 yards and a touchdown. He also had a Trump dance. He celebrated with his Trump move there, however you feel about it.
The golf.
He did his whole, So, you can't allow a tight end. You can't 13 receptions to a tight end. You cannot allow that. So, they got to clean that up. They got another tight end coming up this week who's a force for the Patriots. And so the Dolphins got to clean that up. You can't allow a guy like that to get open and downfield and impose his will on you.
Speaking of the Patriots, obviously they come to the Hard Rock this week. Their fan base will travel. If the team's 1 win or 14 wins, they travel. I saw quite a few. Not a lot, but at least 7 or 8 people last week in Tom Brady jerseys.
Yeah.
Weird.
We have you haven't caught on to one of them. One guy sits in the first row in front of us, and he's always in that Brady jersey. He's been every game we've gone to. He's wearing that Brady jersey.
I think he's in July.
I don't know. I mean, he really doesn't have to prove anything. We all know Brady, unfortunately, is the best quarterback to ever do it. But to show up in a Brady jersey at a Dolphin game, and he does it every game, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yes, there were some. I did notice Patriot jerseys as well.
Circling back in the chat, we have John. John joined us on our trip to Indy.
Nice.
He's here. And then King just said to us, as long as they contain Stevenson, we good.
Yeah, no, Stevenson's their top rusher. He's got 6 touchdowns on the year, 590 some yards. So he's a guy that we've had trouble with the run, and we're going to definitely have to shut him down.
Yeah. So circling back just to close out last week's win against the Raiders. After the game, we stayed till the end. Whether we're up by 50, we're down by 50, we stayed till the end. And after we won, a thing came up on the scoreboard saying that, ironically enough, and we're going to show it in a second, that was the Dolphins' okay, let me make sure I say this right, and I will. That was the Dolphins' 500th regular season win.
Correct.
Which
Huge.
It took me a second to think about it, because when you compare it to our other teams, like the Heat and Marlins, who have obviously way longer seasons, it's like, okay, we do that in what? Well, maybe not so much with the Marlins. Maybe that will take a century.
Yeah.
But the regular team, so we actually hit our 500th regular season win on Sunday. So
it's incredible.
as I pull this up, you can go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, you could pull it up. I don't know where they stand. I know that they have one of the top records, and it really is remarkable the fact that they started in 1966, right? You've had a lot of teams that had a tremendous head start on them. The New York Giants have been at it since the early 1900s. Obviously, the Packers, the Lions, the Bears. So many football teams have been playing way longer than the Dolphins. And for the fact that they have, they were able to put up their 500 win. And
500? No, not 500.
Yeah.
500, not 500.
500, sorry.
500.
500th win.
500.
Thank you for correcting me. In franchise history, that's a huge deal, and a lot more. Even though we haven't won a playoff game in over 24 years, we got a lot of playoff game victories as well. So that was a special moment, and I did not know that. But as you were able to see it now,
yeah, we're live.
There you see it. So that was flashed upon the screen. Number 500 in franchise history.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
yeah, it's huge. That's an awesome, milestone, and that was really, really cool. And I love that they put that up.
Yeah, so because they didn't announce it, obviously, but so we're like looking at it and we're putting two together.
Yeah.
All right, we'll continue on.
That was awesome. It was. I'm still wearing the same hat that I was wearing on Sunday.
You haven't taken it off in 4 days.
I have not. I'm celebrating.
You showered with it.
I did.
Or lack of.
But it was Salute to Service week, so you got your kind of camouflage.
Okay, you didn't call it camo. You said Jungle Cruise, but it is camo.
Yeah, you do look like you're about to run a safari cruise, but it was Salute to Service themed, as was my shirt there, my pullover, and my hat. And of course, we're hanging out with our buddies, Kirk and Kathy. They were there. And then look, we how about this on Sunday? Even though it came courtesy of the Buffalo Bills. I'm not sure when I'm not coming out here, but courtesy of the Buffalo Bills, the Chiefs lost the game. They were 9-0, so they become the first or the last team, I should say, to lose, and ensuring once again the 1972 season is going to never go away, never leave us. And even though we didn't pop champagne because the Bills were the ones that did it, otherwise we would have celebrated. But we do have our 1972 bottle here. And I think we're going to save this till when we win the Super Bowl. So this is courtesy of our buddy George out in Oakland when we went to Oakland for a wedding. So George, thank you for this. And we're going to do what Nick Bonacani's doing there. We're going to pop this when we finally get our Super Bowl win. There's that's Jim Kick, Mercury Morris, Gary O'Premian, and Larry Little. Unfortunately, I see this picture and 3 of those are no longer with us. The only living member of this picture here is Larry Little. But here they are posing for the very famous saying, Perfectville, population 1, founded in 1972. Still only one team in that Perfectville, and it's awesome. It's us.
Yeah. So circling back to the chat, Josephine Ebby from Daytona Beach is joining us. Just got back from turkey dinner. Well, hope that went well.
Yes, let's find out about that.
She also mentioned that she has 2 friends. They are Jeff and Dan, and they're actually coming to the Dolphins game this Sunday.
Oh, sweet. Perfect.
So one of them is a Patriots fan, so I warned him that.
Well, let them know where to find us.
Yes,
Even if they are Patriots fans, we will we'll put our best foot forward until the game kicks off, and then all bets are off.
As you guys know, everybody is welcome to the tailgate. Dolphins fan or not. So we look forward to seeing Jeff and Dan this week.
Yeah, and I know this is in the room, and not only did the Chiefs lose, the Cleveland Cavaliers, courtesy of Desi's Boston Celtics, they were 15-0, and a lot of people were getting a little worried that they would run the table and go 82-0, plus win every playoff game, which would put them at 98-0.
It'd be impossible.
And it's totally impossible. But no, and listen, it's another professional sports team that failed to go undefeated. And say what you want, but I know it's impossible to do. NHL, definitely Major League Baseball or basketball, but there's only one professional sports team undefeated, and it is
Dolphins 1970.
1972 Dolphins.
So there you go. All right, so let's circle back to not circle back. We're still talking about the Dolphins. This week we play the New England Patriots. We already saw them in Gillette this season, where we took care of business, and we should take care of business again. again, this is another game, which is even sweeter because we do not have Bill Belichick on the sidelines.
Yes.
So this is officially the second game in a very long time, now forever, that we won't have to see that face. And it's just fun without seeing him because he is just, actually, it's not that it's not fun because he's such a character.
Right,
and there's been so many memes. I know you created memes and stuff of that.
Yes.
So it's like, who are we creating memes of? We're not creating memes of Tom Brady because he's not there. And Bill Belichick. So there's no like.
Well, Brady's still showing up on TV these days on Fox as an analyst. So I have my. But look, speaking of Belichick, now with the Cowboys just imploding,
they should have took him in the beginning of the season.
A lot of people are saying that Belichick may be the coach there next year. So we'll see how that happens.
They should have went for it this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, well, Dak got hurt, so that changes everything. Just like Tua got hurt for us at the beginning of the year, but. Look, a lot of people, obviously, we don't want him to coach again because he's close to Shula's record. But I'll give you two other guys. And one of them, Andy Reid, the Chiefs, they keep winning. They don't lose. I know they lost this past Sunday, but they win a lot more than they lose. So that's one you got to worry about. And then another guy that had a big victory over the Baltimore Ravens, Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. Still very young, and he wins all the time too. So those are two guys that if Belichick doesn't come back into coaching, we got to definitely keep our eye on Andy Reid and Mike Tomlin. No doubt.
Yeah, for sure. So with the Patriots, they are tied in last with the Jets, and which obviously makes us in second place, still trailing behind the Bills. And I mean, right out the bat, it should be an easy win. And with that, we cannot go into Sunday thinking it is an easy win because anything can happen. They get turned up. They can have a hot game. They can have a bad game. So it is a must win because right now we are on a 2-game winning streak, which to the world, it may not seem like a lot. These 2 games that we've won, these last 2 games, the Rams and the Raiders have kind of switched the flip the switch for us per se and kind of gave us hope for the playoffs now.
Playoffs?
Yes, I know. And that's the thing.
My Jim Mora voice.
So,
playoffs?
The thing with that is that, like, people are saying, all right, like, step back. Look who you guys are beating. Are we beating good teams? No, we're not beating good teams. But that's the grimace of our schedule. Talking about our schedule, this week we play New England, right?
Yep.
Then we have a short week right after that. We have the Thursday Thanksgiving Day game. We have the 8:20 game in Green Bay against the Packers at Lambeau Field. So it's quick turnaround time to get up there. And then a week later, we play the Jets home. So that'll be our first time seeing the Jets down here, or seeing the Jets at all this season. Yes.
Let's take it one step at a time. Let's really get into this New England game.
Right, bring it back to New England.
You mentioned that we played each other earlier, week 5.
Yep.
That was an ugly win. Ugly game by both teams, 15-10. Of course, that game featured 2 completely different quarterbacks under center. Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback for the Patriots, and we threw out Tyler Huntley was our quarterback to start that game. So this go around, you got Tua obviously back and really having some success here the last couple of games. And then they've rolled out their rookie, Drake May out of Carolina.
Who has looked good.
He's looked all right. He's got 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, over 1,200 yards through the air, 260 yards on the ground, and a touchdown as well. So he could do it with his legs and his arm. So you got to respect that, And Jared Mayo, their coach, is a defensive minded coach, even though their defense right now not doing as well as he would like. They're ranked 20th overall on defense. So they're able to be had. We could have some success. We've really, as you mentioned, time possession was big for us against the Raiders. And so we can string some drives together. I think we're going to be able to, get it done here.
You think? It's more like we better,
no doubt.
There's no thinking. Like, there's no time to think. We are, like, more than halfway through this season. We can't think. As people say, either poop or get off the pot. Like, this has to be a win. Yeah. We cannot lose. We cannot lose a game, an AFC East matchup game. We can't lose anything because we are on the chopping blocks right now.
100%. And not just win a game. They should really dominate. They should really dominate this game. We mentioned how Brock Bowers was able to go off against us last week. And Hunter Henry is their top tight end, their top wide receiver in period. He's the guy that is most targeted after their running back, as mentioned, Stevenson. But, we got to really contain him and not allow him to get loose in the middle of the field like Bowers did last week. And then we got to do the same thing we did against the Raiders, score on all of our possessions, not let Jake Bailey get out there and punt the ball back to them and get a big win.
Agreed. So, guys, time of the show where you drop your score predictions. Drop in the chats as Lou and I share ours.
Dolphins are 7.5-point favorites, so
That's
they're
a
favored
fair.
to, that's a big margin. They're favored to win this game convincingly by more than a touchdown. So, you want to leave it up to the room?
Well, I'll give them a sec to. I'm
All right.
just going to beef it up a little bit.
Guys, go ahead and drop your predictions for Sunday's games. We had some close ones last week. I thought I was right on par.
I was looking good for a while there.
Yes,
yeah,
it was pretty close there.
So again,
and
this
then the
Sunday,
Dolphins pulled away.
Sorry, this Sunday, Dolphins host the New England Patriots. 1:00. I'm sure it's a CBS game.
Yep, it's a whiteout. It's a whiteout.
Yes, it is whiteout.
They're encouraging if you're going to the game, wear white.
Last week was the whiteout, so I will not wear what I wore last week, but I will find something else to wear that is white, which I have plenty of white stuff. Okay. And the weather is actually going to be cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
Cold front coming in. I'm
supposed
excited.
to drop to 50 degrees on Friday. Oh, time to break out the fur coats and the parkas.
All right, so let's do this a little differently. Usually we start with our score prediction, but we just got a whole bunch coming in. So let's
give it to us.
Let's
go. See what we got here.
All right. Desi says 31-17 Fins. Dolphin fan forever 72. Dolphins 27, Patriots 17. All right, so we have two people with the 17 with the Patriots. All right, our buddy John, 24-10 Dolphins win. John, I love those numbers because that's actually my birthday switch. So I'm a very biased person when it comes to those two numbers. So I think I'm going to join you with that. King says 31-14 Pats. So another close to 14-17 with the Pats. Big Earn in the Big M. I'm sorry. Earn or M?
Big Earn.
Big Earn. Sorry.
Big Earn
I'm telling you, my eyes are going. Big Earn, 31-17. All right. So what we're seeing is about two touchdowns for the Patriots. Brent says 27-19. I'm assuming Dolphins. Let's hope. Yeah, I know you mean Dolphins. Yeah, it's Dolphins. I know.
Dolphins.
Josephine Ebby from Daytona, 24-17 Dolphins.
Closer than we like right there.
Okay, but she's still with the 17 Patriots. Okay. John in the house. John, Big John. What's that, 50 or 60? 60.
That's 60.
Dude, my eyes are going.
60 to 10.
60 to 10? Oh my gosh. Girl, call an early Thanksgiving. Be grateful. That would be amazing.
It's a wild prediction.
No, but I like it.
No, John, I like it.
John, speak it into existence, pal, please. So what we're seeing with all the predictions, again, I'll drop them in real quick. We're seeing that they think that we're going to give up at least two touchdowns to the Patriots. Too many.
Everybody's saying Dolphins are going to, win and cover, decisive win, except for Josephine Ebby there.
She thinks it's going to be close.
She thinks it's going to be close.
She might know stuff.
She does live on Patriot Place, but
that is true.
So maybe that's
she does live on Patriot Place. Maybe she was drinking something tonight at the Thanksgiving Day dinner that with Patriot fans. She said to John, "No way, 60. No way." All right, so we'll see. I would love 60. All right, so my score prediction. I'm going with my buddy John. John, I'm going to go with that 24-10 Dolphin prediction.
24-10.
I like 24-10. I do. Okay. I like containing New England to a touchdown, let them get a field goal, make them feel good, and then smacking 24 on them. I'm with you there.
Anybody else in there? No?
What?
Any other predictions?
Oh, Jim. Jim just came through. 27-13 Fish.
All right.
I like it.
Jim. So am I up?
Your turn.
Okay,
Barbie.
So I was close last week. I said 41-20, and it ended up being 39-20. What was it? I have it here. What was the final score last week?
I have it here.
Yeah, it was 34-19. So I was off by a couple.
You weren't as close as you thought, though.
Correct.
We had some 30s. The
but
30 would be closer.
I said it was going to be in the 40s, and I just missed it. So
I am. Only in the 40s is you.
I want my 40. I want the 40. So I'm going to go ahead and predict it's going to be this time 40-17. I got 40-17 Dolphins.
Okay.
A lot of points on the board. I think we're going to have a defensive touchdown in this game. I don't know if it's going to be off a fumble return or a pick six, but I am predicting a defensive touchdown for the Dolphins. And I think we're going to put our 40 points on the board, holding to 17. 40-17 is my prediction.
I like it.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Let's see what happens.
Before we take a look around the league, one thing I do want to mention, amazing news came out of the world of how you don't want to bring up.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, obviously you don't want to bring up. It's the biggest news going on today. Our buddy, our pal, the greatest of the great, one of the best players to play in the 90s, Richmond Webb is now officially a semi-finalist, one of the top 25, the 25 players left to potentially get into Canton in 2025.
It's a tremendous
It's
story.
amazing.
But a lot of people put together a campaign. You could list more than I can. Everybody was involved. We had an event for him the opening weekend against the Jaguars. We had a big event on Saturday night where so many people showed up. We gave away these awesome stickers and also gave away these awesome wristbands that have Richmond Webb for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're wearing it now. We always wear them to all the games. We gave one to Zach Thomas when we saw him week 1 against Jacksonville.
We give Zach stuff every time we see him.
Yeah. So it's a tremendous campaign. Kudos to all Dolphin fans who have really put his name out there. By now, you know the accolades: 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first team All Pro, 2-time second team All Pro. Protected Dan Marino, who could not move.
Former Aggie.
Yeah, went up against the great Bruce Smith twice a year for over a decade. Speaking of decades, a member of the 90s all-decade team. I mean, just because he's an lineman and doesn't have actual stats like rushing yards or receiving yards, those accolades speak for themselves. And again, we are so thrilled that he's amongst the top 25, the final 25. There's not really anybody this year who's projected to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Some people were saying Eli Manning. I don't think Eli Manning's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He'll get in. He won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He put up the numbers. Plus, he is a Manning. So give him all his props in the world. To me, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Adam Vinatieri's on there again, not first
ballot.
Ballot.
Again, that's a kicker. You're not going to get. There's no lock-in first ballot Hall of Famers. Some great names there. Torrey Holt's in there. Reggie Wayne from the U. A lot of deserving guys. But Richmond is right there with all those guys, and he's going to have a definite shot. And we are just so thrilled that he's a semifinalist, and we can't wait for him to don that gold jacket and be enshrined in Kansas forever one day.
Definitely. So you guys are wondering, what can you do to keep pushing his name? That's exactly what you need to be doing, is keep pushing his game. Tweets, pictures, let people know. The more awareness that we bring to his name and his career, the better. Do we get the final say? No. But if we keep just promoting him and letting people know and reminding him how great of a player he was and how much he is deserving to be in Canton, it will help. So please, every opportunity you have, share it on social media, tag Richmond, send them words of encouragement, and let's keep doing our part as Dolphin fans, as fans of the NFL, to really get Richmond in the Hall of Fame as where he belongs.
Yep, and I agree with Big Ern McDolphin there. No way does Eli Manning deserve a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Not right now.
I'm going to say, you got me riled up here, so I got to say my story. I went to Canton in 2005 with my dad to see Dan Marino inducted. And, yes, we're biased, right? Everybody loves Dan Marino. The guy set all the passing records. He retired with every single passing record. So obviously he was going to be a first ballot. Steve Young, who was also in that Hall of Fame class, was a first ballot. Another deserving guy. Had the stats in a limited sample size. He didn't start because he was backing up Joe Montana, but he won a Super Bowl and put up the stats. To me, what insulted me was when Troy Aikman got in as a first ballot. Again, I know Troy Aikman won a couple Super Bowls, won 3, but you cannot tell me that Dan Marino and Troy Aikman had the same career. It's just not. You walk into a restaurant and Marino's sitting at the table and Troy Aikman can't say, "Oh, I'm going to sit here too." Now, I'm going to say that, and I have to say it the other way too. If Marino walks into a table where it's all Super Bowl champions, he can't get near that table as well. But you cannot tell me that Marino and Troy Aikman had the same career, and you can't put Eli Manning as a first ballot Hall of Famer either. So that's I'm sorry, I had to go on a little tangent there to hammer it home. And again, we need Richmond Webb in the Hall of Fame,
and we will try our best.
Yes, keep doing it. Yeah, absolutely.
So real quick look around the league. I'm gonna.
Do you have the picture? Just what the Dolphins tweeted out. I think I put it on there. Can you check it really quick?
So the Dolphins.
I want to show.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah, it should be the last one.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
So this was the Dolphins.
Hold on, share it. Oh. Give me a second. Keep talking.
So the Dolphins tweeted that out. That pretty much gave the news out there that Richmond Webb is among the final 25. Ashley's trying to put it up, but this is the official tweet. Is it still called a tweet? I don't even know. Yeah, it's just the official tweet by the Miami Dolphins, and congratulating this awesome player Richmond Webb, and we need to get them in the Hall of Fame.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Oh. Okay.
All right, so here's where we're gonna. You got that pulled up?
I did, and I took it off. Let me go back here. Go ahead. I'm listening.
So we're gonna look at the standings right now. We're gonna look at the standings right now because there's some stuff here that has happened. Obviously, the Chiefs still number 1. They can see this.
Yeah.
The Bills number 2, Steelers 3, and then you got the Texans at 4, and those are your division leaders right now. Currently, here's where it gets dicey. The Chargers had a crazy game on Sunday night against the Bengals, back and forth. But the Chargers are now 5th. They are at 7-3. The Ravens, with that loss to the Steelers, they are now no longer first place in the North Division, but they are at 7-4. And then the Broncos. The Broncos had a convincing, resounding win over the Atlanta Falcons, 38-6. And that's a team that we're chasing. We're chasing the Broncos.
Well, let me pick up here from you. So if we go a little deeper, we see the Colts, the Rams, and the Dolphins. We obviously have the problem is the Colts, in the case of a tiebreaker, they beat us this year. So that would be a problem because
no doubt.
That would be a huge problem.
That loss was to the, that was
that should have been a win, but we
tough
lost.
Loss. So, we are now behind them, and we need to make sure that we can, finish with one win better than them. Otherwise, they're going to get that tiebreaker. And the Jets actually let us down. We should have been rooting for the Jets because the Jets ended up losing to the Colts, which put us in a bad spot. You don't got to go further than that. The Bengals are a team that's playing a lot worse than what their talent level suggests because Joe Burrow is playing out of his mind, and he's got stud wide receivers. And that's going to be an ongoing story to see the Bengals can upset some teams. But yeah, look, we're jumbled up there at the end, and we're going to have to win out. We're just going to have to win out because we can't afford another loss within the conference. And we only have 2 non-conference games. You mentioned one of them, Thanksgiving against the Green Bay Packers, and then the San Francisco 49ers at the end of the year. So if you're looking for the one loss that you may be able to get away with, it's going to have to be one of those 2. They're going to have to win a tough game in Houston, which will be there, and they're going to have to win a tough game against the Jets on the road at the end of the year. I know the Jets look like they suck right now, but they're going to want to eliminate us. They've done it before. They're going to want to take us out. So we're going to have to win all our conference opponents moving forward.
Jim says once Richmond gets in, well, isn't that the truth? We have to get them in there.
Yeah, no. Well, Kuchenberg was amazing and on that 72 team, and why not get one more in there? No doubt.
Another chat. Yo, Lou, is this live on YouTube? What I look up for the YouTube? So if you want to find us on YouTube, 305, or you can find me, 305 Sports Babe, or the SoFLo Sports Show. So everything you're seeing up here in this top corner above Lou's head is how you can find us on YouTube. You can rewatch us over and over again.
Yes, and look, we also encourage, it means a lot to us. If you can, like and subscribe, to the show. It's completely free, but it does help, get the word out there. So if you can, if you're watching this somewhere else, definitely make a trip over to YouTube. If you can like the channel and subscribe to the channel, it goes a long way. And that way you'll get alerts as to when we come on. Because of our schedule and also the fact that we're huge Heat fans, Panther fans, and we have a tendency to go to some of these games, we can't always promise and commit to doing a show on a particular night of the week.
Yes. Mostert, Ingold fumbles. We don't talk bad about Mostert. He's my favorite player. He does nothing.
I love Mostert. He's awesome. And Ingold too. Yeah, you're right. That was tough. Both of them. Both those fumbles cost us the game. I'll tell you what else cost us the game. Tim Boyle being at the game at the end. And that sucks to have Tim Boyle try to engineer a 2-minute drill to try to win that game at the end. I don't even want to talk about that. That was tough. Okay. That was more tough than those 2 fumbles.
Dominic is in the house from the UK.
Dominic?
From Great Britain.
What time is it over in the UK?
So it's 7:43 here. It's like
Dominic, what time is it over across the pond right now, my man?
My guess is 1 or 2 a.m., which I already know it's one of those. So thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes.
Super excited to have you.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning. So yeah, guys.
I do want to do my other impression because we are on a win streak. And of course, the famous line from the movie Major League when the manager, Lou Brown, says, We've won one.
12. Oh, it's not that late. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's not too. All right. Yeah, don't interrupt me during my Lou Brown impersonation.
Sorry.
He says, all right, fellas, we won one game. We win another one. That's called a win streak. It has happened before. Now let's go out there and get another one. So, yeah, Lou Brown, Major League, classic line. We got a win streak going on, 2 in a row. Let's make it 3 this Sunday, boys.
Definitely. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So Dominic, still good morning because it's still Thursday.
It is.
And then what else? Obviously, we spoke about the Marlins. We have a new manager, had his little press conference. So nothing to be too excited for. We've been down this road before many times, but obviously baseball is coming up. We will have spring training in just a few months, and I cannot wait.
Dana's in the house. What up, Dana?
Hello,
How you doing, my man?
You found us. We have been found.
We've been found. We've been discovered. McCullough was huge. Another big news, kind of weird news that came out of the world of baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays, who are now going to be playing this season in the Yankees spring training complex.
Steinbrenner Field.
Correct. Steinbrenner Field. Because of the whole hurricane and everything, it looks like their deal for the ballpark in 2028 is now in jeopardy. And so now all bets are off. And they're saying that, well, if we can't commit to that stadium opening up in 2028, then we might have to look elsewhere, which would be a shame. You know, we enjoy going up to Tampa, St. Pete, and watching baseball there. And it's American League baseball. You get to see, obviously, a different amount of teams there.
Right, with the Red Sox?
We did. We were up there for a playoff game not too long ago. So I would hate to see that. I hope they're able to work it out, and the Tampa Bay Rays can stay in Tampa. Sorry.
When you do that, it's like the funniest thing. Like your voice, you have such a deep voice, and then it like squeaks, like not even squeaks. You're still not good.
No,
you talk. I'm like, you take your show.
You go.
What?
No, I can't.
What'd you say?
Go.
No, go ahead. Well, go ahead. What else do you have to say?
I need a second.
What do you have to say? Go ahead. They're waiting for you. The people are waiting for you to speak.
I cannot right now. Sorry.
What's wrong with you?
I got to recover. Sorry.
What is wrong? I'm laughing so hard. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
No, you take it over.
Oh,
for a
he's
little
back.
bit.
Never mind.
Take it over for a little bit.
I was enjoying that.
Sorry, guys.
All right, go.
Technical, I almost said testicle difficulties, but it's technical difficulties. Technical difficulties.
Go ahead, keep talking.
No.
Keep going. Oh my goodness. All right. Before you guys let you go, what do I got in the room? Upcoming Packers game, making me feel a little queasy. Hopefully Tua can finally win a game on the road in the cold and prove doubters wrong. See, the problem with that is that Lambeau, it's really hard to win in Lambeau, first of all.
It is.
What?
Stop, come on. I'm drinking water.
All right, so now that I have the floor, let's talk girly stuff. No, just kidding. But no, you are right. It's going to be very, very testicle difficulties. Now they're making me laugh. It is going to be very, very hard to win in Lambeau. Unfortunately, we will not be at that game. Whose birthday's on Friday, by the way, but we can't make the game this year. We do.
Oh, man.
You're back?
I'm back. All right.
Unfortunately. He's back.
All right. I'm back.
But the Dolphins do play in Lambeau in 2 years, so we'll be back it's not a crazy game. So we had another one. Let's look forward. What do you think about the Packers GM rumors they might be getting snow? If there's snow next week, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. We just don't play well in snow. We don't. It's an element that we don't play well. So we shall see. Let's hope that does not happen, but we will have a problem. Switching gears, talking about where there won't be snow. Go ahead.
Yes, Dana. I think I got to take care of that.
The Hurricanes.
But it's week 12 really quick. I do want to mention this. 3 big games that I'm looking for. Lions and Colts, Sunday, 1 p.m.
Yeah.
We mentioned that we're chasing the Colts. We cannot finish tied with them because of the loss earlier to them in Indianapolis. So Lions Colts is going to be a big one. Hopefully the Lions can take care of business and help us out. Broncos Raiders. We mentioned it. The Raiders, we just played them and beat them pretty convincingly, but they are hosting the Broncos. So hopefully the Raiders can help us out because the Broncos are right now in that 7th spot. And then another game, a big game that we should watch, Monday night, Ravens at 7-4, the Chargers at 7-3. Something's got to give there, right? So we're going to hope that one of those teams, whoever loses that game, continues to lose other games to let us catch up. We don't play either of those teams. We don't play the Ravens or the Chargers this year. So again, conference record is going to be the tiebreaker. And so, those are the 3 games that I looked at that we're going to have to keep our eye on this weekend.
Definitely. Also this week, the Canes take on Wake Forest at home. Should be an easy win, right? Like, that's enough said with that. I mean, point blank, we're obviously coming off that loss against Georgia Tech, so has to be, and we shall see. And Florida Panthers are sitting pretty in first. We've pretty much held that first place spot throughout the season, and I say throughout the season's limiting going on for about 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, 12-6. They're first place in the Atlantic. They did lose last night to the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets are the best team in the NHL right now. They're 16-3.
Really hot.
But 2 nights before, we lost them last night, but 2 nights previous to that, we played them at home and we beat them at home convincingly, 5-0. So that's the best team in the NHL right now. And the Panthers just beat them. One of their 3 losses, as mentioned, they're 16-3. So, hey, they're in first place and they're taking care of business.
Definitely. Look who just joined us in the chat. Carlos. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Nice to see you again. I'll be hanging out with you in a few weeks in Houston. Let's get that game of a 500. No, we cannot wait for the Houston game. When we first started planning the trip back in May, December seemed so far away. And it is crazy that December's pretty much here next week. So Houston is a trip that, like, I don't want to put in the back burner, but, like, we are so ready for it.
Yeah,
It's been it's been taking forever to get here, so we cannot wait to see you, Carlos, and everybody. And it's going to be tough to win at NRG. Obviously, Texans are a pretty good team. CJ Stroud and crew and all them.
Yeah. But they got Nico Collins back. Of course, Stephon Diggs lost for the year. But hey, they're a really good team. It's going to be tough to get a win there.
Desi's also joining us in Houston. So
yes,
Carlos
will.
and
Desi,
right. You guys will meet each other, and excited for everybody.
Yeah, and if you're going to Houston, many of you in the room are going to join us out there. We're going to have a big takeover. A lot of fans going to be out there for that game. We will be sending a newsletter right out to you.
Probably either late this week or early next, but before Thanksgiving. So you will get something before.
The newsletter is going to pretty much give you all the ins and outs as to what's going on over the weekend, stuff that we got planned, some surprises, and
it'll be fun.
Should be fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've also done some cool research about Houston. I'm a big animal girl, and Houston Zoo has like this event. So if you're going with the kids, but not even if you're going with the kids, because when we went to Indianapolis, us and the guys, all grown people, had a great time at the zoo.
Yeah,
so that newsletter will be coming out soon, and we're excited to see Carlos and Desi and everybody else coming to Houston with us, because it's going to be a blast.
Yes, it will.
All right, guys. Well, we got some plans tonight.
We're going to talk about Miami Heat really quick. Miami Heat, obviously, still struggling, trying to find their way, but they did, as you mentioned, have a big win against the Sixers on Monday night.
Yeah.
They are now 6-7 on the year. They destroyed the Sixers. The game was actually close for the first 3 quarters, and then the Heat just turned it on. But again, going back to what we talked about, after that game, the Sixers had a players-only meeting, and Jason Maxey, their star point guard, who didn't play in that game, called out Joel Embiid and pretty much said,
Jason Maxey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, sorry.
Tyrese. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Tyrese Maxey. Sorry.
I said Jason.
Tyrese. Sorry, Tyrese Maxey called out Joel Embiid, pretty much saying, "Hey, you show up late all the time. You're supposed to be the leader of the team." And the fact that he called him out. I mean, Tyrese has been in the league 3 years now out of Kentucky, and the fact that he called out Embiid, who's been an MVP in the past, pretty much raised a lot of eyebrows. And so now there's talks of Embiid maybe wanting out of Philadelphia. So we'll see. Obviously, him and Jimmy Butler played in Philly together. They got a great relationship. So I don't know. Just putting it out there.
No, let me also put this out there. If you had the chance to either get Embiid or Giannis, who would you want?
I'd want Giannis. I love Giannis.
Same.
Embiid misses too many games.
Agreed.
But he's a heck of a player.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah. No, I would love to have Giannis here. And by the way, they're off to a bad start as well. So at any moment here, they might say, hey, or Giannis might say, I'm not going to stay here.
Or just leave him here next Tuesday.
That's right. They do come to town. You can just stay here if you want.
Just stay, Giannis. We don't have an extra room, but we will make room for you, or the city will make room for you. We'd be more than happy to have you here.
No doubt.
So, yeah, guys. So, anyways, tonight, as we mentioned earlier in the show, it's the Country Music Awards. I know we are country fans. A lot of people are country. We're biased next to Bon Jovi and Bruce and good old 80s music. Country is my favorite genre of music. So we'll be in and out watching that tonight. So if you are sportless tonight, kind of like we are, definitely CMAs are a good watch tonight for you to check out.
Yeah. Well, speaking of good watches, last night you put on, before you head to bed, you put on the Elvis comeback special.
Oh, you watched that?
Yeah, I loved it. It was great. It was on Netflix. So, Obviously, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight didn't live up to the billing.
It didn't buffer.
No, it did not.
Okay.
But that was great. The Elvis comeback special was awesome. So if you get a chance, I highly recommend that as well. Big Elvis fan. So.
I was the GM of the TV last night. Doesn't happen often because usually we watch the same thing and we're pretty content with our Dateline or sports episodes. So Lou was like, "What do you want to watch?" I said, "Okay." I wasn't gonna make him watch 90 Day Fiance, which I'm halfway through the season. No, you don't watch it with me, which is fine. No. I enjoy watching it by myself. But so I put it on, and it was awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, so guys, anyways, last before we leave, I just wanted to let you know that I, for the first time in 5 years, I got a new phone, and the reason why I say this is because I had that phone longer than you and I have been together. We've been together 4 years. Our 4-year anniversary is coming up next week. Yeah. And so I had this phone actually longer than I've been with you. I've had my phone for almost 6 years, and I finally upgraded to the brand new Max Pro. People have been asking. Wait,
put it up here for comparison. It's huge.
That's what she said.
It's a lot bigger.
So people have been asking, like, what do you think of it? Right, logistically and everything, it's great, but it's monstrous. And
it's like a weapon. It's borderline a weapon. I don't think it's going to fit in your purse.
And that's exactly what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Every purse I have
definitely won't fit in my purse.
Every purse I have is obviously made for stadium approval. I know every bag codes everywhere because we live at stadiums and arenas and stuff and ballparks. And so this new device that I have, it's just monstrous. So yes, on the outside, everything, it is great. It's functional. It's so fast. It is amazing. But to be honest with you, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I don't want to say I regret it, but it just takes a little time to get used to. Also in the chat, Papa Paul, who will as well be joining us in Houston. So 3 of our friends in the chat right now will be in Houston. It's a whole party in Houston. And by the way, we are sold out of tickets for Houston. We're sold out of hotel. We still have spots available at the Social, which is from 2 to 4 on Saturday at the Drift Bar. So if you guys are coming to Houston, again, we don't have tickets. We don't have the hotel. That is all completely sold out. But we do have availability. We'll be promoting that more later on this week and obviously leading up to the event until we're completely sold out, which we will be for the party on Saturday at 2 to 4 at Drift Bar. Yep. So anything else before we let them go?
No, that's nothing. Just obviously Richmond Webb was the big news. The Dolphins 1972 team will live in history again.
For another season at least.
For a lot longer than that, hopefully. And, we're trying to get our boy Richmond Webb in. So we're supporting Richmond Webb and trying to get him into the Hall of Fame and just keep on moving. If you're going to join us in Houston, we're going to be doing a couple raffle baskets. And because Richmond Webb is from Texas, he played at Texas A&M.
Don't give away too much.
No, we won't, but we will be giving up one of the raffle prizes will be this, a Richmond Webb locker template that he signed. So, some things to look forward to here in the next couple of weeks as we, get ready for that big game. And hopefully, as mentioned in the chat, we're going to be over 500 and trying to stay in this wildcard race.
Definitely, guys. Well, have a good night. Happy Wednesday. We will see you all before Turkey Day next week. So we'll have a show sometime between this Sunday's victory against New England and before our Fins head to Green Bay. So until then, have a great rest of your week. Go Canes, go Dolphins, and we'll catch you guys later.
Yep. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Put on some Take Us Out music, DJ.
I would put it on my phone, but I don't know how to use it. So.
The Richmond dance. Anybody else in the room?